I'm standing right now on a beaver dam. What you're looking at now is a stream. It just has a thin layer of ice on it. I'm not sure if you guys could hear it, but the water is flowing underneath pretty freely, even if it looks frozen. And there's trees everywhere on it. You still need to be careful because the ice is extremely thin and you could fall through. So a good indication of if there's water or not, there'll be animal tracks around on the ice, so kind of have to be careful for that. Sometimes there's muskrat because they make holes and they could dive under the ice. And in this case, what you're looking at is a little hair trail. So right to the right here is a watering hole. The water isn't frozen, so they go ahead and drink out of that. As you see here, perfect. Even if it'd be beavers, maybe they could come out of there, but most likely muskrats and rabbits. They'll come in and out, but also a great watering hole. So here in the foreground, you have the secondary dam that pretty much catches the swamp overflow that the beaver has made. And then right after that, the second white line on the horizon here, so pretty much this whole line over here, that is the main dam, which makes my swamp an actual swamp. So yeah, there's in the summer there's like ducks, geese in there, what have you. There's a whole lot of birds in there, frogs, whatever. Since it is a wetlands now, it used to be a field, and now the beavers turned it into a swamp. Yeah, as mentioned before, there is water flowing underneath the dams, so you need to be careful where you step because you will fall through. Here I am now behind the first dam. This is the first basin they did. It's like a little pond. Ducks and geese love this thing. And then right over those little mounds there is the swamp itself. So, grassy wetlands. So again, great for moose because they eat that kind of fern and stuff like that grows. So that right in front that I trampled on is the beaver hut. It has long been abandoned a few years ago, I believe. If it would be active and beavers living in it, there would be steam pouring out the top, and most likely would have a good indication to know if it's active or not is there'd be coyote tracks and fox tracks all around because it could smell the beavers. Here is the swamp. Just a wide open field. No, not really any trees. They've all drowned. But yeah, pretty nice place. Nice mountains surrounding it. My cabin is on this mountain right here that I came down to reach this spot. As for the shotgun I'm bringing with me and the gear that I'll go over later on when I get to the cabin, this is a 12 gauge double barrel. I'm not even sure of the maker, but it is double hammer, double trigger, super nice wood grain, nice bluing on it. I believe it's around the early 1900s to late 1800s, so yeah, really nice. It has some case hardening on it. Yeah, picked it up at a local gun store not too long ago. Fire off a couple shells here. Really nice shotgun and very light. So, as mentioned before, I will show you guys my gear. You guys saw my double barrel already. So, let's get the firearm related stuff out of the way. This is a cartridge belt that I got at a flea market. I think there was around two. One for a rifle and one for shells. Honestly, I think this thing was like $5. It's old, but the leather is all oiled up from use, and it's really nice quality still, so why not still use it for a low amount of money like that? I couldn't pass it up. I have different what's it called, shot sizes. So usually, you know, the good old 7.5 does the job. I think past this point, I use spent shells just to determine at what point I'll switch shot size. So usually I'll run, like I have some low brass buckshot and double aught buck, what have you. So yeah, old cartridge belt, still really good. Get that out of the way. For my main little pouch, I have a oiler from the 1800s. This is what they used before spray bottles. So it has a little pick, you could pick out your stuff, and the little tip on the jar itself is extremely fine. So you could use it for, trying to get it back in, intricate mechanisms, so like rifles inside the hinges of a shotgun, what have you, it'll do. But also very, very nice for fishing reels. So if you have expensive reels and you don't want to, you know, spray them down or anything. So yeah, I got this, a little period correct oiler that I keep in this little pouch here, in my little field pouch. Always have a ferrocerium, I hate saying this, ferrocerium rod. Tongue twister. But yeah, I just put a piece of antler in it and have a big old bear claw hanging on it. It works nice. I used it a couple times, but as you guys will see, I have other fire starting methods. I also have cotton swabs in there. And also in here, I have a small Lansky sharpening stone. It has grooves in it. You guys can't see, but it has grooves in it to sharpen fishing hooks also. And I have in here some shotgun brushes and rifle brushes to clean out my rifles and shotguns, you know, as I see fit in the field. Last but not least, I just have a bundle wrapped around a nail of jute twine. Always good to have. I like having that stuff. It's natural, so even if you leave it in the field to make a shelter or whatever, it decomposes and doesn't leave any damage or any crap laying around. The pouch itself is a nice Beaver pouch that I bought at a local artisan store, I guess you could say. I have quite a few of these, different sizes, different materials. I have Beaver, Coyote, whatever. I have a bunch of them. Put this back in here. This is actually really nice. This is one of the items that I made. See, now, even if it's cold, you rub it. This is fix and wax. So, Dave Canterbury pretty much has videos on how to make this. It's all natural. You can use it to rub on the wood or the metal of your firearm, on your lips. If you have chapped lips, you could even eat this if need be. So it's pretty much different oils. You can even put a little bit of herbs in here if you want. You could pretty much do what you want. It's medicinal. Rub it on your lips, rub it on whatever. It's rust protectant. So, like I said again, it's Dave Canterbury from Pathfinder Survival School, I believe it is. He has a bunch of videos on this. I believe it's his older videos. So yeah, super good stuff. There's also a lot of articles and stuff on how to make some. So yeah, got the idea from him. I have a big chunk of fat wood and matches in here with some striking paper, of course. Like I said, multiple fire starting. methods. This also from Dave Canterbury. He did a video on this a few years ago, but I just loved the design, so I made it myself. This is just a piece of antler that I hollowed out. And this is, I believe, if I remember correctly, because this was a few years ago, it's called a Sammy sewing kit, I believe. But yeah, it's just a sewing kit. I have a needle in here, some wax thread, whatever. So you put this in here like this, and this piece of antler at the end acts as a stopper. And this, you could hang it from your belt, like so, and you have a sewing kit. I just keep mine in my trusty pouch. This here is a pouch, a leather pouch that I made a little leather attachment in the back to put on my belt. But this is, I never take this out, a sight for my gun. I made a little deer skin bag for it. I always keep this in here. And tools to put the sight on. I also have a small pair of pliers in this little bag. But yeah, small leather pouch that I bought at the flea market. I think it was like a couple bucks. So like I said, a whole lot of stuff here is recycled, or I made it myself. There you go, my precious little pouch, because the rifle sight is extremely expensive. And for my haversack itself, my little Winsman satchel here, I made it myself. So it has a beaver tail style flap on it. A very crude design, wood beads. Made it out of, I believe it's caribou, if I remember correctly, or moose leather. But yeah, the strap is literally just scraps that I had that I knotted together. So very crude design, but it gets the job done. I think it looks pretty cool. So that's what I use as my little woods kit. So yeah, very simple, like I said.